What's up, everybody? I am Mela Bee, and you are now tuned in to Danaya Azure Radio.
Hello, Mela Bee. Welcome to Danaya Azure Radio. How are you?
I'm doing so well. How are you?
I am good. I am good. I'm so glad I was able to connect with you. Shout out to Rev for the connection. He was telling me about all the phenomenal things that you are doing. So how did you originally get into music?
How did I get into music? So, my dad was a touring artist when he was in his 20s. He lived the road life for a while. And then when I was born, I feel like he's kind of living vicariously through me. So, he put me into lessons and piano lessons, classical singing lessons. I did some jazz stuff, and yeah, it's all because of my dad.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how old were you when you wrote your first song?
When I wrote my first song, I think I was about 12 years old. Yeah.
What was it about?
The only thing I remember about that song, I was in like a band camp, but not like a classical band camp. It was like a rock star band camp.
Hmm.
And we were tasked to, form a band and write one song and then perform it at the end. And I just remember the chorus being like, I feel like I'm falling. That's all I remember.
Mm.
So I don't know what it was about. I feel like it was an existential thing, my little, whatever I was going through at the time of 12 years old.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So who would you say were some of your musical influences?
Aside from my dad, I grew up listening to a lot of piano rock, like Elton John and Billy Joel. That was my dad's favorites, and he played a lot of them. And then once I kind of came into my own and started learning my own musical style and preferences, I listened to a lot of like punk pop, like Avril Lavigne and Blink 182, Sum 41. I listened to, the classic Kelly Clarkson and who else? There was a lot. I listened to a lot of different genres, and I actually listened to a lot of metal as well, believe it or not.
That's awesome. So it's funny that you mentioned Avril Lavigne because this week we're actually giving flowers to Avril Lavigne when your episode airs. So,
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
so yes, yes, yes. So, what would you say have been some of the struggles that you've had to overcome as a musician? Actually, being rephrase that, being a woman in the music business.
Yeah. There's many struggles for musicians in general. I think one, like, the biggest struggle is being taken seriously because, it's the path that most people look at and kind of almost like frown upon, like, oh, you're just a musician. Like, you're not going to make any money. You're not going to make it. Like, nobody makes it. So I think that's one of the biggest struggles because when you're trying to follow your passion and
Mm-hmm.
chase those dreams, and all you ever hear around you is people kind of like putting you down and saying like, oh, this isn't a safe path, this isn't going to work out for you, and maybe they don't say it, but you can see it on their face when you say you're a musician, and they just kind of look at you like, oh, okay, cool. So I would say that's the biggest struggle, but the way that I've overcome it, I think it just took time. It honestly took time away from music to make me realize, like, no matter what anybody says, this is what I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know what it feels like to give up on my dreams. And that's the
Mm.
worst possible feeling, is to feel like you gave up and you just kind of threw in the towel and you're not trying anymore. That is the worst feeling. And I would rather try and fail. I don't think there is really any failure if you're chasing your dream and you're doing what you love every single day. But
Right.
I'd rather try and maybe not be as successful as people want me to be on the outside than to just give up and not try at all.
Right. And I think the biggest thing when it comes to music that people don't understand that music is everywhere. It's in television, it's in movies,
Yeah.
it's in your elevator, it's on all of your phone calls that you're making to customer service. So
Yeah.
without music, the world would be boring. So the fact that people think that it's okay to be like, oh, you're just a musician, you know that you use music in everything, right? So
Yeah.
why not it be my music that you're using in your everyday life? Because music truly is a soundtrack to life.
Yep. Exactly. And there's a lot more opportunity in music than people think. There's more jobs in music than people
Mm-hmm.
really realize. So no matter what, I think I'll be in the music industry. And as an artist right now, what matters most to me is just, making good music and putting the best possible product out there that I can, and treating it like a business rather than just, like a hobby or an art. I think it's important to realize, like, musicians are business people, they're entrepreneurs.
Yes, absolutely. And so you've traveled the world with your music. So what has been one of your most exciting places to perform and why?
I I think honestly it was last week. I was in San Diego, Ocean Beach, very surfer town, good vibes. Everybody talked like, "Yo, what's up, bro?" Like super chill. And that was really exciting because it was my first time playing in California, and it felt really good to be on the West Coast and chilling with some of the best musicians I've ever met in my life, connecting with people in the industry that are extremely successful and have a lot more knowledge and insight that you could never pay for. You just have to go out there and experience it and meet people and talk to people. So yeah, I think that was by far, maybe it's because it's fresh and it's new, but by far that was like the best show I've ever played.
Definitely, definitely. And singer, songwriter, and guitar player. Mela Bee is my guest here on Danaya Azure Radio. So when it comes to your music career, what is your goal for the next 5 years?
Whew, yes, I have a lot of goals. So I am really really excited to start touring. I want to do a mini tour in the states. Maybe it'll turn into a big tour, but I'm going to start on the West Coast and try and work my way over. So that'll be fun. I want to collaborate with as many artists as I can. I am very fortunate to be friends with a lot of really really talented musicians, so I want to work with more people over the next 5 years. um, I have an EP in the works, so I'm gonna release that EP. It's scheduled to release sometime this year, probably towards the end of the year. Um, and then I'm also working on an album in the background, so there's a lot happening in the studio that I'm really, really stoked for. But one of my biggest goals is to move south. I currently live in a tiny little town in Ontario, Canada. Um, there's some places to gig out here, but I definitely want to bring my music out to music cities like LA and Nashville, Austin. I want to move out there. Somewhere out there would be really cool. So those are my goals.
I love it. I love it. So, what would you say would be your biggest advice that you have to give to someone who is just entering the music industry?
Hmm. I think my advice has changed recently. I used to say, just make music, do what you love, the cliche, right? But I think more so than ever, what is it, like thousands of songs are released on Spotify every single day, right? So to to chase music is it's daunting, and there's a lot to consider. There's a lot going on social media, on the streaming platforms, now in Web3, and it can become overwhelming. So I think my biggest piece of advice is to learn the skill of time management.
Mm,
Yeah, like I said before, like as a musician, we are entrepreneurs. We are a business owner, like, but our business is our music. So it doesn't
right.
feel like it, right? So I think that if you can approach music with a business mind, you might get a little bit further. Like people will take you more seriously. You might land some opportunities that you wouldn't land otherwise. So yeah, I think time management is the biggest thing that I would recommend to artists to practice and take care of your time management.
I agree because I think a lot of people get so consumed with social media that they forget to take time out for themselves.
Hmm.
And that is so incredibly important. You can't just scroll, scroll, scroll all day or post, post, post all day. You have to take time for yourself and step away from that, from those digital platforms. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to be healthy. And that is one of the most
Yeah.
important things for sure.
Yeah. And that's how you're going to make good music, right? So I think, part of time management, and I used to have trouble accepting this, but part of time management is learning how to take a breath and, evaluate where you're at. So,
Most definitely. So, if you could collab with any artist, alive or dead, who would they be and why?
hmm. I would collaborate, hands down, number one is Kurt Cobain. Um, Funny fact about me, I used to, before I really started chasing music, and treating it like a business, I used to sit and watch Kurt Cobain interviews like all the time. Like, I don't know, there was something about his demeanor and the way that he viewed the music industry and the way that he um, carried himself and spoke that I just found really inspiring. And his music as well. I love Nirvana. So 100% Kurt Cobain would be number one. Another one would be Elton John. Very, very different artists, but Elton John would be a big one. And I would bring my dad along for that collaboration because that's my dad's, like, he idolizes Elton John. So that would be number two. And then one that I think aligns with my music that I'm making lately, especially another person that we lost too soon is Amy Winehouse. I
Mm.
think that she was an incredible artist, incredible singer, and I would have loved to be able to collaborate with her.
Oh, I definitely could have seen that collab. That would have been insanity.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to your music, what would you say is your style right
My style.
now? Hmm.
Um, it's funny. I always tell people my voice is my genre because I write a lot of different styles of music. So like the continuous like common denominator is always my voice. But lately, when it comes to like stuff that I'm going to be releasing, I've been working on a lot of like jazz is a big influence of mine. So I would say it kind of falls into this odd like indie alt pop jazz rock. Like it's very, very, very mixed. But I feel like all artists are a fusion of their influences. So yeah, I don't know if that answers the question. It's very difficult to answer that question.
It does. It's more than just one genre, which is amazing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think the biggest mistake that I see artists make is just sticking to one genre, because there are so many things that you can do, and so many people that you can touch when you're crossing genres for sure.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I don't like to feel limited in my creativity. Um, I might have a really good song idea that I just don't get out because I'm like, no, that doesn't fit Mela Bee. And I don't think that that's good. I think that we should just, if we have something that comes to us, we should get it out in whatever form it takes, form in. Like it should just
Right.
happen. And then I also would love to, I guess, kind of circling back to a question previous, is I would love to write songs for other artists. So getting into writing rooms is like a big goal of mine. And I think that I would be, a good person to do that just because I can write in so many different styles. I've written so many songs that I would probably never put out myself, but I can kind of
Gotcha.
like picture the band or the artist that would put that out.
I love it. I love it. So, how did you get connected to Rev?
Rev and I met. I believe we just met I guess it's called X now, on what used to
Right.
be called Twitter. I he and you know what, it could have been on Twitch as well. We connected kind of when things blew up for me on X. Most of my following is on there. Um, so I have a pretty big following in the Web3 space, and I started hosting spaces there. And yeah, people come through. I meet so many cool people that way. And I stumbled upon Rev, and he seemed very passionate about what he does. And we connected on that, and we've kind of kept in touch ever since.
Yeah, definitely. It was when I was telling her that I was looking to interview, different artists and whatnot. He was like, I know just who to connect you with.
That's awesome. I appreciate him so much. He's always been very supportive and encouraging with my music. So
That's super dope. So, when everything is said and done, what do you want your legacy to be?
hmm. That's such a deep question. When everything is said and done, I would like my legacy to be that, maybe it's just like one word, like authenticity is something I value a lot. And I want people to perceive me in a very authentic way. That I want people to see me for me. I spent a really long time trying to fit inside of a box that made myself easily digestible for people, and
Mm,
that kind of just left me lifeless and very sad. So I kind of made a decision somewhere along the way. uh, I'm not going to say the F word on here, but F it. I just need to be me and do what I think is right for me. So, yeah, the way that I write music, the way I perform my music, the way that I connect with my fans and the people that support my music, I try to have like, the most authentic connection possible. So I don't write my songs in a way that I think other people are going to like. I write songs in a way that they just come out. I'm like spilling my guts, I'm spilling my heart out. So, yeah, I would say authenticity is something that I want to be remembered for when all is said and done.
and that's a big thing. I think a lot of artists forget how important it is to be authentic. And everybody is trying to fit into whatever little box or follow whatever trend. But I'd rather make the trends than follow trends, period.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Absolutely. So you have this amazing thing that I saw where you pretty much make up a song on the spot. What do you call it?
So I do videos called, I guess what I call them is one take wonders. So the reason I started doing these videos is because I got really caught up. It kind of touches on what we were just talking about. I got so caught up trying to create content for social media and like
Mm,
playing my songs, oh my God, so many times. Like I would take one, take two, take three, take four, take five. Hours would go by, and I was just trying to get the perfect take, right down to like how my hair
yes.
looked and how my face looked and, the notes I was hitting and how I was hitting them. And then I realized how much time I was wasting by
Mm,
doing that and trying to be perfect. And yeah, I just said, you know what? From now on, going forward, I'm going to do my videos in one take. I'm not going to watch them. I'm just going to post them. And
I
it's
love
working
it.
out for me. So
I
that's
love
a
it. I've
one
seen a
take
couple
wonder.
and I was like, what in the world? Yes. I love it. So today we have Mela Bee doing a one take wonder right here on Danaya Azure Radio. Take it away,
Sweet.
Mama.
Okay, I just decided this is such a one take wonder. I just decided on the spot what song I'm going to do. So I'm going to do a song called Take Me Down. And it's unpracticed. I haven't played the guitar or sang it all today. So let's see how this goes. I said, hands up, I got a question for you. He said, shoot, I shot him down. I bet he learned his lesson, 'cause this Smith and Wesson won't leave you second guessing, no. I said, hands up, no one gets hurt if no one moves. He said, please, man, my lady's at home and the kids are at school. I guess he thought I'm bluffing, but I taught him something. A desperate person doesn't care for nothing, no. No, oh, 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 Take me, oh, take me down. Take me before time runs out. Take me, oh, take me down. Take me before time runs out. Oh, oh, oh. They said hands up and put the weapon on the ground. I said take your shot, may the best man be the last to hit the ground. They didn't see me coming, thought that a pretty something could never manage. But I'm back to running, yeah. I said heads up, got a secret, baby boy. Keep that pretty mouth shut, or be my next falling toy. You might not guess where I've been, no. The trouble I'm in, no. The trouble I'm in. Please just take me down, oh, take me down. Take me before time runs out. Take me, oh, take me down. Take me before time runs out. My baby shot me down. Thank you.
That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I love it. I love the energy. I love the vibe. I love your voice.
Thank you. That was fun. I wrote that song not too long ago, and it's not written from my perspective. I challenged myself because I'm so used to writing songs from my own perspective. I wanted to challenge myself to write a song from, the perspective from someone else's shoes that I've never lived in. So I wrote it based on the show Animal Kingdom, which I don't know if you've seen it, but it's about this crime family. And the head honcho of the crime family is Smurf, and she's the mom. She's, the badass mom. So I wrote it from her perspective.
That's what's up. I love it. I love it. Yes, that was amazing. You are phenomenal. Go ahead and tell everybody they can follow you, find you, and most importantly, book you.
Cool. Yeah. So I am Mela Bee Official. So MELABEE, like Buzz, the bug. Mela Bee Official on all social media. And then if you want to find me on Spotify, Apple Music, any streaming platforms, you just look up Mela Bee and you should find me. That song is out. So if you want to listen to the produced version, it's there for your ears to consume. And also, I do dabble in the Web3 world, so I'm also on sound.xyz. You can find me there, same name, Mela Bee. And to book me, melabeeofficial@gmail.com. I manage myself, so you can email me. And then on my website, which I think is the coolest, most badass website on the planet, melabee.io. There's also, if you scroll down, you'll see a little planet that says booking. You can click that and send me a message there.
Awesome sauce. Thank you so much for coming on. I truly appreciate you. Once again, shout out to Red for the connection. You have such a bright future ahead of you. And when you have that EP and that album, I need you to come back here so we can play the whole thing on air.
Oh, snap. Okay, I'm down. Let's go.
Absolutely. All right, Miss Eddie, it was an absolute pleasure. I look forward to hearing more from you. This interview is over. However, we will be having the produced version of Take Me Down, another record from Mela Bee, right after this interview.
Thank you so much for having me. Much love.
Much love, Mama. Take care.
Take care.